Is it visible my screen? Yes, I think. Right. Fine. Now, yesterday, just I shared some information about what is React. Okay. Yes. So now we are going to discuss the features of React. Okay. Yeah. 1 second. No. So before that, a small brief idea about the concept which we discussed in the last class. So react.js. So I told you it is a client-side script we are using to develop the websites. Okay. So not only websites, we can also download the mobile applications that I will discuss later on. What are the supporting technologies we are using to develop the mobile applications? Anyhow, React.js is nothing but client-side script. So to implement websites. Yes. So if you just see any web definitions, so React.js is the library of JavaScript. Okay. So you can see that definition there. So it is library of JavaScript. So means to work with the JavaScript, some additional features it is providing for us. This clear? To work with the JavaScript, it provides what? Some additional features. Okay. So that is the concept. That is the meaning of library of JavaScript. Is it clear? Yes. Anyhow, so this React.js is nothing but client-side script. We are using for what? To implement websites. Okay. If you take any website, so we have two phases for every website. One is designing phase. Second one is coding. So already I told you in last class. So designing phase, we are creating user interfaces. What are the technologies we are using for that? So HTML, CSS. So user interface is nothing but the front page. Means if you open any website, one page is loading. That is user interface. That page contains some HTML, means a text box, button, radio button, these type of contours and some styles. Okay, to create those type of user interfaces, we are using HTML, CSS. Okay, so for example, if you open with, okay, yeah, so flipkart.com. So now you can see, so this is Flipkart website. I am the client of Flipkart now. Client means not owner. Okay. So client means who is accessing the application. That person we are calling as client. So you and other persons who are opening this Flipkart, they are the clients of Flipkarts. Okay, like that Gmail. So if you open Gmail, you are the client of Gmail, like that. So now this is user interface. In this user interface images, okay, and some sliders like that. We have different types of, this is text box. Like that, we have this type of contours we can design. So these contours by using HTML, CSS. Now, coding. If you take coding, so in coding point of view, what are the technologies we are using? Yes. So coding main purpose is to implement logics. Why we are using the coding part? To implement the logics. Yes. So business logics we want to implement, then we are taking the support of coding. So in this coding point of view, two types of scriptings we are using. One is client side. Next one is server side, like that. Okay. So client side script executes where? Yeah, in browser. So the script which executes in browser, we can call as client side script. Yes. For example, if you implement any logics by using JavaScript or next level technologies for JavaScript like react.js, Angular, okay, all these comes under client-side technologies. Okay, so in coding point of view, we are using two types of scriptings. The first one is client side, and second one is server side. What is server side? Yes, the script which executes in web server, we can call as server side script. Is it clear? Like that, we have these two types of scriptings. The first one is client-side script, and second one is server-side script. So if you implement any logics by using PHP, ASP, JSP, so all these technologies comes under server-side scripting languages. You got it. Like that, we have these two types of scripting languages to develop the websites. One is client-side scripting language, another one is server-side scripting language. Now, if you take this React.js, React.js is nothing but the client-side scripting language. What is that? The client-side scripting language. That is the main thing. A small diagram I wanted to show you. I want to show you. So, for example, yeah, this is one web server, and in that server, one website contains many pages. Now, for example, this is one user, client X, sending a request to this website. Home page loads into the client system. Okay, that home page contains both client side script as well as server side script. Contains what? Both client side and server side scripts. This clear? Now, at the time of sending the response, what the client side script implemented here. Okay, at the time of send the response, what the client side script implemented here, the script is downloading into the browser and executes in browser. Who is using browser? Client is using browser. Yes, that script executes where? In client system. That is the point of this. In case if it is server side script, okay, if it is server side script, that script executes in web server only. Like that, some logics execute in browser, some logics execute in browser. Sorry, server. So browser related all functionalities we can implement by using client side technologies. And you want to connect with the database or you want to create the sessions tokens. In that point of view, server side programmers will work on these technologies like PHP, Node.js, ASP, and Java, Servlet, Spring, Hibernate. So these type of technologies comes under server-side scripting languages. Okay, as you a developer, you should have idea on these client-side scripting languages. That to these days, so React.js is very popular client-side technology to develop the websites. Okay, so and I given some information also in last class who implemented this React.js. So here, yeah, so Mr. Jordan Walkie, who implemented this, Jordan Walkie in the year 2013, implemented React.js. Not only this person, along with the members, team members of Facebook. Okay, so Jordan Walkie is one of the employees of Facebook. Along with other team members, he implemented this React.js in the year 2013. What the main reason behind that implementation? Why he implemented this React.js? Yes, the main reason is he wanted to add some concepts in the Facebook chat. For that, they implemented this React.js. Okay, so that Jordan Walkie, along with team members, they implemented React.js. The main reason, basic reason is to add some features in the Facebook chat concept. So that is the main reason why they implemented. Later, they added more features in this React.js and released this technology to the to outside. From then, the other persons also, other programmers also use their this React.js in their application development. Like that, these days, many websites, Instagram and Apple websites like that. So this Flipkart. So different websites contains React.js as the client-side technology. So these all websites, many websites implemented using this React.js. Okay. So that is the basic information which already I shared. And also we started in yesterday's first class, we started one more concept, that is features of React.js. Yes. Okay. So already one or two features we discussed. Okay. So again, just I'm giving some idea on that. Yes. First of all, supports data binding. So data means nothing but variable. Okay. So first feature, it supports data binding. Actually, this feature is not there in JavaScript, but it is there in Angular. So just what is data binding? So already I discussed this point, but anybody new person today joined. So just see this. For example, we are creating one variable. Okay. So at the time of project development, to execute logics, okay, with some values, we are using variables. So those values we are storing in variables. Okay. Like that, we are creating many variables in the development time. So now, see, I have taken one variable serial number, value is 100. That variable value I want to display on any heading tag or text box or paragraph or any other control. So for that, generally we are executing some logic. This logic reads that variable value and display that value on the control. So now here we are getting 100. Means this logic reads this variable and display that variable on the control. So if this variable value is updated from 100 to 200, then again you need to execute this logic to get the updates on this control. So then only it will update that 200. Like that, every time, whenever variable is modifying, every time we need to execute this logic. Okay, then only we can get the updates of that variable. So not only a single variable, okay, we are creating n number of variables. So you want to execute multiple logics to get the updates. It is very big task to the programmer. So to avoid this, okay, complexity, in React.js, not only React.js, even in Angular also, they introduced this concept. So that is data binding. What is the main purpose of data binding here? Yes, we can bind a variable with HTML control. So data binding main purpose is we can bind the variable with HTML control. Means without, okay, writing any code, directly we can display that variable value on the HTML control. This concept we are calling as data binding. Is it clear? Without writing any code, we are displaying the variable value on the HTML control. So this is the concept of data binding. Now, what is the benefit of this data binding? Okay, so you need not worry about the logics, okay, and how to run this logics for every update. So by default, this data binding observes the modifications of the variable. When the variable value is modified, immediately it updates that value on the HTML control. Is it clear? That is the concept of data binding. Okay, so we have two types of data bindings, one-way data binding and two-way data binding. So what is that one-way and what is two-way? Programmatically, we'll discuss. Anyhow, the first point, what is that? Yes, it supports data binding. Next one here supports many validators. So in JavaScript, we need to implement validations to check the input controls. But in this React.js, predefined validators are available. These validators directly we can apply on the HTML controls to check the control is empty or not. Okay, like that, this type of all conditions we can check here. Okay, next one supports single page application. Yes. See, React, Angular, these technologies, why got much popularity? Because of data binding, yes, and single page application. So this concept is also available in Angular. Okay. So data binding and single page application. So these concepts also available in Angular, but not in JavaScript. So what is single page application? A small brief idea. For example, you're developing one website with the multiple pages like home, about us, contact us, like that. Now, user open browser and send the request to your website. So initially you're serving home page to user. So in that home page, hyperlinks are available to go about as well as contact to navigate to the about page and contact page. When user click on this about page, what is happening? One more request sending to the server to load this about page. If it is contact page, one more request you're sending to the server to load the contact page. Like that, every time. So one request is going to the server. So this causes the network traffic. Okay, because many users will work with the applications. Okay, so if you are passing the multiple requests, then what is happening? So it increases the network traffic. So that's why the application performance will decrease. To avoid that, the single page application concept is introduced. What the main purpose of the single page application? Yes. So we are holding all these components as one object. Okay, I will explain you later how to create this object, everything. So this object we are calling as routing object. Okay. So when user is sending the first request, then that entire object is loading into the client system. Okay. In this object, we are binding, yes, home page, about us, and contact us, these pages. Is this clear? Yes. These are the pages we are binding here. Now, if user click on this about us, okay, so no need to send the request to the server from next time onwards. So we are not sending any request to the server. Directly it is loading from here. Sorry. Directly it is loading from here. Like that, if user click on the contact, directly it is loading from here. That is the main concept of this. This clear? Yes. Like that, in this scenario, okay, so it reduces the network traffic, okay, and increases the performance of application. All the pages are loading into the browser with very beginning first request. So that's why user can access these pages, user can navigate these pages very fast. All these pages will store in the cache memory location of browser. So this single page application, how do you I explained? So we are spending around 1 week to 8 days, okay, at the time of discussion with this concept, okay, and we are covering many things like how to navigate from one page to another page and how to work with the authentication authorization, okay, router guards, next one parameters, how to pass, like the different types of concepts we'll discuss. Anyhow, so this is one more feature what we have here. Okay. Next. Yes. Supports JSX format. Yes, this is not available in Angular also, not only JavaScript. Is it clear? Angular also not supporting this JSX format. Yes, what is the meaning of the JSX? So JSX stands for JavaScript XML. Okay, JSX stands for JavaScript XML. What is the meaning of JavaScript XML? Yes, we can combine JavaScript with HTML code. That is the meaning of this. What is that? We can combine the JavaScript with HTML code. This we are calling as JSX. Okay. Generally, what happens if you write the HTML inside the JavaScript? It gives error. If you write HTML code inside the JavaScript, it gives error. But at the time of working with REACT.js, you can directly write the HTML code inside the JavaScript. You won't get any error for that. So this concept we are calling as JSX. Okay. Yes. Now, what is the main advantage of this? For example, I want to execute some logic. That result I want to display on the table, HTML table, or I want to display on any other HTML control. In that point of view, so logics we are writing in separate file and designing code we are writing in separate file. Later we are calling the design from this logic file. So that is very complex task for us. To avoid this complexity, so this JSX they introduced. So in this JSX, after execution of logics, directly can place the HTML controls there only. Okay, means that logic result we can directly get into the HTML controls. So if I show some examples, then you will get the clarity about the JSX. Anyhow, this is very excellent feature what we have in this React.js. So that is also not there in Angular. Okay, supports JSX format. Is it clear? Yes. Next one supports virtual DOM. Yes, this virtual DOM is also one concept. It is also not there in Angular. Okay, and JavaScript. Only React supports this virtual DOM. So what is this virtual DOM? So I will discuss it later, because even if I explain any information about this is difficult to you. But one point you should remember. So React application is faster than Angular because of this virtual DOM. Is it clear? React application is faster than Angular because of this virtual DOM. So now I will show you the same in Google. Oh, just Google. Yes. So benefit of virtual DOM in React. So here main performance scalability like that. Okay. So at the time of updating, okay. So because of this virtual DOM, so entire page is not re-rendering, only those updates will affect. But right now, if I discuss, you will get that difficulty, because we should know about what is DOM, everything. Then you will get the clarity in this. So mainly we are using for performance, to increase the performance of application. Okay, so that is the main advantage of this virtual DOM. Okay, so Angular is not supporting this virtual DOM. Angular is working based on the real DOM only, but in React we have both real DOM as well as virtual DOMs. What is DOM? That is the main question. So that I will discuss later. Okay, anyhow, so tentatively should remember one point. What is that? React supports virtual DOM. Because of this, it increases the performance of application. That is the main point of this. Is it clear? Yes. Next one. Yeah. React Native. Yes. React Native. We can use to implement cross mobile applications. So I told you one point beginning of the session. Not only websites, we can also develop mobile applications by using React. So to develop the website, for designing, we are using HTML, and for client-side coding, we can use React. Okay. So that is at the time of development website. But to develop the mobile applications, okay, for designing, we are using native. And for coding, we are using, is it clear? That is the concept of this. For designing, we are using native. Native is providing, okay, some mobile related components to implement the mobile activities, okay, screens. And coding, we can use React. So this is cross mobile application development. So cross mobile means what is that? So one application supports any type of mobile. For example, if I implement any Android app, it supports Android mobile, not supporting iPhone. Okay, and Microsoft mobiles, etc. If you implement any iPhone related app, it will not run with Android and other mobiles. Okay, those are platform dependent technologies. But if you take phone gap, React Native, these are cross platform technologies. Means so single app runs with any device. Okay, Android, iPhone, Microsoft, or else any other OS it supports, mobile OS. Okay, so that's why. So the person who is paying money for project development, no need to invest money for the multiple apps. Single app, if we concentrate, so it supports any type of mobile. So that is one more advantage for us. But here we don't discuss native concepts. Here completely we are discussing. Yes. What is that? Web application development, not the mobile apps development. This batch is for website development. Okay. Yes. Next, supports Redux to work with state management. Yes, it supports what? Redux. So generally, while working with the websites, one concept is the state management that we are using. What is the state management concept here? Yeah. So websites are stateless protocols. I will discuss it later. What the meaning of stateless? The data one page cannot transfer into another page. Is it clear? Websites, the data one page cannot transfer into another page. But if you take the shopping cart applications or any other websites, so in shopping cart application, if you select any product and click on the add to cart, so that product information is available in billing page. Like that, if you take Gmail, in front page, if you enter the username password, and in the next page, it displays your username. Okay, means here the data, how it is transferred from one page to another page. For that, one concept is there, that is state management concept we are using. By default, web applications are working with stateless protocols. HTTP protocols are stateless protocols, but sometimes we need stateless protocols. The main concept is data of one page cannot transfer into another page. But sometimes it is required for us. Some information on one page I want to access from another page. For that, they introduced this state management concept. The state management concept, different types of objects are there. Local storage, cookies, session storage like that. So we will discuss all these things. Okay, just overview I'm telling to you. So like that, we have different types of state management objects. Using these objects, we can transfer the data from one page to another page. But instead of using this local storage, cookie sessions, we can also use Redux. Is it clear? Yes. So what the main benefit of this Redux? So Redux is more powerful than the existing state management objects like cookies, sessions, local storage, etc. And also subscriptions are possible with this Redux. So that's why what is subscription, everything we will discuss later. Anyhow, React is supporting direct library to work with the Redux. Okay. So I will show you the programs based on this Redux and how to work with the state management concept. So what is local storage? What is session storage? What is stateless protocol? Okay, everything we'll discuss. Okay. But anyhow, here React supports direct libraries to work with the state management. To work with the Redux. Redux is for the state management concept we are using. So next one, yes, supports many services. The services we are using in functional point of view. So React supports different types of services in JavaScript. So we need to implement each logics for each and every concept. But here some pre-implemented Okay, some pre-implemented services are available. Directly we can use these services. Okay, that is one more benefit what we have. Okay, and next one here, simple coding. Yes. Compare with the JavaScript, React coding is very, very simple because everything is defined for us, almost all. Everything is defined. So that you should know how to access those functionalities. That's all. And these are all the differences between JavaScript and React. When you compare with the Angular, what are the points I shared here? Angular not supporting JSX. Angular not supporting virtual DOM. Yes. Next one, Angular is not supporting direct library for the Redux. Okay. And Angular is framework. Angular is framework. This framework means contains huge functionalities. That's why learning curve is very big in Angular. Learning curve is very, very big in Angular. Yes. And few more differences are there. Just 1 second. Yes. Okay. So like that, coding is very simple. Now, if you take Angular, yeah, to work with the Angular, you should have idea on this TypeScript. But if you take React, to work with the React, so you can use JavaScript or TypeScript. Got it? Yes. You want to work with Angular, you should know TypeScript, but you want to work with the React.js, okay? Either JavaScript or TypeScript, anything you can use here. Okay. Now, many programmers from past few years, okay, working with JavaScript. If they want to migrate, okay, if they want to upskill their technology, definitely they will go with that React.js. Because if they want to go with Angular, they should learn this TypeScript additionally. Already they know JavaScript. Then why should we go with that Angular? This is easy for them if they choose React. So that is the reason in companies, many React teams are already established. If any company is looking for the new resource to work with the team, compulsory the resource should be React resource. So that is the main reason why we have openings more with React compared with Angular. But Angular also has good boom and good openings. So I am talking about the comparison. In this comparison point of view, React is a bit okay better in openings point of view as compared with the Angular. Is it clear? Yes. Now, if you take Angular, Angular is providing many features. Okay, everything is available in Angular, but React, if you take in React, okay, it is library. It is not framework. It is library. Some features it is providing. So additional features you want to use, then we need to take the support of third-party packages in React. But Angular, everything is defined. So that is one advantage in Angular. Got it. So here some advantages we have with this React.js and some advantages we have in Angular also. So the big advantage in Angular is what is that? Yes, everything is available as built-in. So because that is framework. But when you are coming to our React.js, so here some concepts you want to use, we need to take the support of third-party packages because React is library, not framework. Okay, framework contains all features. Library contains few features. So remaining we need to go with some third-party libraries. So that is one advantage in this Angular compared with React. But remaining point of view like yes. So that is JSX support, virtual DOM, okay, like that, okay. And simple coding. So coding point of it is very simple. You can use both JavaScript as well as TypeScript, anything. So like that, here we have some more advantages compared with this Angular. Is it clear? Anyhow, these are the main features what we have in this React.js. Is it clear? So based on this, we are implementing the programs. Okay. So and one more thing I will tell you, in Angular, and React both, we are creating the components. Okay, I will explain you later what is component. So in Angular, we can create only class components, but in React, we can create both class components as well as functional components. Is it clear? So component means logics we are writing inside the components. I will explain later how to write this logics, everything. So in next class, mostly we'll start the installation of react.js and all. So that time I will discuss all these things one by one. So anyhow here, so this Angular and React both are component programming technologies. We are creating the components. Inside the components, we are implementing the logics. For example, for login, we are creating one component. For registration, we are creating one component. Like that, for every concept, we are creating components. Now in Angular, we can create the class components, but in React, both class components and functional components we are creating. Yes, so functional components are faster than class components. Actually, in 2013, React is introduced with class components only. Later, they added the functional components, and these functional components provides many hooks, lifecycle hooks, like use state, use effect, use reducer, okay, use callback, use memo, like the different types of hooks are available. So these hooks are very, very helpful for us at the time of project development. That is one more big advantage we have here. So these days, everyone is using functional components in their application development. Here also, we will concentrate on the functional components. So I will give you 3 days, okay, some information about the class components. But our main concentration is on functional components. Is it clear? Like that, we have two types of components in this React. One is class component, second one is functional component. Is it clear? Yes, this is about the information about these features of React.js. Okay. Now the next thing is how to install this React.js and how to start the programming. So once again, the entire content I'm just refreshing now. So React is a client-side script. So to implement the logics in websites. Generally in websites, at the time of development, so two types of scriptings in companies they are using. One is client-side script, another one is server-side script. UI developers work with the client-side script. Server-side programmers like Java, .NET, they are working with the server-side scripts. So client-side script, okay, working on the browser-related functionalities. Server-side working on the server-related functionalities, database connectivity like that. That is the first point. Okay. Next, React is the product of Facebook. Okay. So the main person, okay, that is Jordan Waki, he implemented this React.js along with the team members, and the basic version released in 2013. Now React supports many features like this. So these are some features we discussed, and there are few more features in our running classes we'll discuss. Okay. So that is the main concept. Okay. Yes. Here we will discuss programming with these scriptings. Okay. I will also explain the TypeScript examples. No worries in that point of view. Anyhow, so this is the basic information about this. Okay. In this today's demo class, we discuss the features. Okay. Now, see, for example, one use case login form if you take. In companies, you got one user story. Okay. So task, implement the login form. Okay. So to work with the login form, what are the steps we have? First, we need to design login form. Yes. Next one, implement validations. Next one, send username, password to server. Next one, check username, password, valid or invalid. Next one, return, okay, yes, success or failure value, and redirect to either welcome page or invalid user page. So these are the steps which are involved in this login page. First of all, we need to design the login page. So for that, yeah, what are the technologies using HTML, CS? Okay. Next one, that username text box is empty or not. Password text box is empty. In case instead of username, that website is asking any email ID, format is valid or not. All these validations we can perform by using client-side scripts. Here it is nothing but react.js. Yes. Now, after validations, when user click on the login button, first we are validating the controls. Everything is fine. Then we are sending the username password to server. So that time we are taking the support of Ajax. That is also nothing but client-side script. Here we are working with React. Once you send the data, credentials like username, password, then in database server-side programmer will check whether this username password registered or not, okay, valid or invalid. In that point of view, server-side scripts like, so here ASP.NET or JSP, that related frameworks like Spring Hibernate or Node PHP, like that. These are the technologies we can use. Once after checking in database, if it is existed that username password, success value, otherwise failure value, based on that, welcome or invalid page, we need to redirect. For that, just now I told you single page application concept, right? So that concept we are using. So routing concept, that is by using a React. Means if you take a simple concept, the second step, third step, and last step, getting the support of this React.js. So not only React.js, any client script we can use, but here we are using React.js. Is it clear? Like that, not only the login concept, if you go with the registration concept or any other concept, okay, this is the common procedure, designing, validation, sending data to server, check with the database. After that, so display the result to the user or navigate to the welcome page like that. So these are common concepts, procedure for any concept. Okay. So that's why here this simple concept around 60 to 70% is coding is client side coding only. 70% is coding is almost client side coding. That is the main point. Is this clear? Yes. Fine. I think you got the clarity with this example where we are in the client side script. Now we need to discuss how to install this React.js and how to start the programming. So like that one by one concepts we need to discuss. We need to start. So anyhow, these initial 3, 4 classes, demo classes, we are spending around 45 to 50 minutes. So that's why in tomorrow class, I will discuss the installation process and all. Okay. So before that, any doubts, any questions you have, you can ask me. Hmm? All of you got the clarity? Yes. So at least if you understand 10% now, slowly in our running classes, you will get more clarity. Please. Okay. Fine. If you don't have any queries, then we will conclude this meeting and tomorrow we will discuss the installations and all. Okay. Fine. So see you next class. You can drop. Thank you.